Hello class, today we are going to talk about section 7.5, which is adding and subtracting polynomials. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to add and subtract polynomials. The steps to do this: first you want to write these polynomials in standard form. Again, that's making sure that our highest exponent is listed first and going down to the lowest exponent, or regular numbers if you have those. Then you're going to want to make sure the like terms are matched up. So if there's x squared in your first polynomial, you want to line that up with x squared in your second polynomial. If there was a case where you maybe have x squared in one polynomial but not in the other, you can add in 0x squared into your second one to help you line up those terms. And then you're going to add or subtract based on what the problem is asking you to do. So, for example, I've got 2x squared plus 5xy minus 7y plus 3y minus 4x squared plus 6xy plus 5x. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to want to write these into standard form. So I've got 2x squared is my highest exponent. And then we've got two variables here, so we're going to do 5xy minus 7y. Then we're going to go ahead and look at the second polynomial. So we're looking at this second piece. We've got our x squared piece first, remembering that that negative goes with the 4. And then I've got 6xy to line up. I've got 3 y's. And then this last one has plus 5x. Now our first polynomial didn't have any x's, so that was what I was talking about when I said you can add in 0. So there are no x's, so adding in 0x isn't going to change anything. Now that we have all of our like terms lined up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add each set of like terms. So this first part is 2x squared plus negative 4x squared, which is going to give me negative 2x squared when I add. Then I'm going to add the second two pieces. 5xy plus 6xy gives me 11 total xy's. Then I've got negative 7y plus 3y, which is going to give me negative 4y. And then I've got 0x plus 5x, which is going to give me 5x. So I've added up each of my like terms to get my final answer. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Lining them up in standard form, I had to put in 0y squareds because I didn't have any in this first polynomial. And then I'm just going to go through and add them up, and I get 3y cubed plus 4y squared minus y plus 3. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and subtract these two. Again, I want to get them into standard form, so I'm going to start with 5b squared plus 8ab minus 10. And then I'm going to go through and organize the second one. I have a b cubed, or b to the third power, in the second one. I did not have that in the first, so I'm going to add in 0b to the third power. And then I don't have any b squareds, so I've got 0b squared. I have 12ab, and I have a positive 7. Now, since we are subtracting, it might be helpful for you to remind yourself of this by putting in the subtraction sign with each pair. So we're subtracting that value, we're subtracting, and we're subtracting. If any of those had been minuses to start, minusing a negative turns into a positive, so they would have turned into a plus sign. But since we are subtracting all of them, we're going to go ahead and just take those away. So I've got 0 minus b to the third, which is going to give me negative 1 b to the third. 5 minus 0 is going to give me 5b squared. 8 minus 12 is going to give me negative 4ab. And negative 10 minus 7 is going to give me negative 17. So I went through and I subtracted each pair this time. go ahead and try this one on your own. Lining it up into standard form, and then I added in those subtraction symbols. This last one, since it was a -5 to start, minus a negative turned into a +5, giving us that final green answer at the bottom. You also could encounter word problems with adding polynomials. So we have an electronics store is starting to track the sales of cell phones and iPads. The equations below represent the number of cell phones C and the number of iPads P sold in months M. We want to find an equation T for the total each month and then find the total for 10 months. So since we are finding total, that should indicate to us that we want to do addition. So I'm just going to go ahead and line these up. So when I add it up, I'm going to get 11M plus 215. So that gives me my total T equation. And then the second part it asks us to do is to find the cost for 10 months. So since M is our number of months, I'm going to go ahead and say my total for 10 months is 11 times 10 plus 215. 11 times 10 is going to give me 110, plus our 215 is going to give me a total of 325 devices in that 10-month time frame. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please let me know when you get to class.